How did that happen?
I don't want to say too much. Well, Grace arranged it. She and her husband were going to West Virginia, and they were going to put me in a home, or, you know, like I'd been before, or I could marry this boy who was 21 at the time. So I married him. Oh no. I was 15 turning 16. When the marriage took place, I was just turned 16. In the state of California, you can marry at 16, a girl. But it was arranged when I was 15. No, not at all. Then he was drafted to go into the army, but instead he went to the Merchant Marine. Yes, towards the end of the war, I divorced him. And I divorced him, no, I was 20. I went to Las Vegas to divorce him.
So tell us about the time where you met Norma Jean.
I was working at Lockheed on the graveyard shift, and I slept during the day. And Norma Jean's foster mother, my mother, were good friends, and they lived quite a ways from the high school. So Norma Jean's foster mother asked my mother if I, when I woke up, would take her home. And so they would come to the house and be quiet while I slept, and then I'd get up. I'd take her and Bibi Goddard home. Bibi was her foster sister, and that's how we met.
What kind of a girl was Norma Jean? Well, how old was she back then?
She was 15.
And how old were you?
I was 20.
What kind of a girl was she?
She was a very shy person. She was a very sweet person. She had a sweet voice. She was a tender person, and someone that could be hurt easily. I believed, although I never heard her, I believed that she was that type that would hurt, would offend easily. Mm-hmm. And when she started in with the business she got into, I had a feeling that it was going to be too tough for her.
What? How did your relationship evolve?
Well, we had a couple of dates. The first one was a dance at a Christmas dance. I don't know whether it was Christmas Eve or not, but it was a Christmas dance, and Doc Goddard's company put it on, and Grace asked me if I would take Norma Jean and get a date for Bibi. So I got a friend of mine from Lockheed, and he and I picked up the girls, and we took them to the dance, and it was a very, very lovely evening. She was a sweet person, and she wanted to be held close, and we enjoyed dancing. We enjoyed each other, and she wasn't like a giddy kid. She was quite mature.
When did you, both of you, really get together, and how did it go along?
When did what?
Did your relationship really start? I mean, where?
I think it started after that. We had several dates after that, and then I came home one day, and my mother said to me, Doc and Grace have got to go to Virginia. Their company's moved them there, and they can't take Norma Jean. And she said, Grace would like to know if you'd like to marry Norma Jean. Oh, that was a shock. I hadn't thought about getting married to a girl that young. And she said, well, she'll be 16 in June, and you can get married then if you would like. And I said, well, fine, because I figured I was going to the war, and I would be giving her a place to stay, a home, and I would be very happy to marry this beautiful girl anyhow. So she said, I asked Norma Jean, I said, would you like to get married? She said, yes. So we planned our wedding. We really then started going steady, and we became very much in love. And she just loved to be held and caressed, and I loved to hold her and caress her. And we got married in June.
We'll bring you Act 3 of Kitty, starring Paulette Goddard and Patrick Knowles in a moment. You might say that our guest tonight was discovered by the Army. I mean Army public relations officers who asked her to appear in Army motion pictures. After that, it didn't take long for 20th Century Fox to find and sign blonde and blue-eyed Marilyn Monroe. I understand you passed a Technicolor screen test with honors, Marilyn.
Well, I'm not superstitious, Mr. Keasley, but in this case, I think I was lucky.
How do you mean, lucky?
Well, the film they used was left over from the shooting of Betty Grable's new picture for 20th Century Fox, The Shocking Miss Pilgrim.
I see. And did you meet Betty Grable herself?
Oh, yes, and how we laughed about her wardrobe for the picture.
Well, correct office clothes for 1874 were a little enveloping.
Especially the petticoats and pantalettes Betty had to wear in The Shocking Miss Pilgrim. They had yards and yards of ruffles and ribbon. Imagine doing all that washing.
And no Lux Flakes to do it with in those days.
Why, that's right, Mr. Kennedy. It's a good thing Betty didn't have to live her role. If she had to take care of all those undies herself, she wouldn't have had much time for romancing the way she does with Dick Haymes in the picture. I thank my lucky stars I'm a career girl of the Lux era.
Lux helps a lot, doesn't it?
That's right, Mr. Kennedy. It's my standby.
And that of thousands of other girls, Miss Monroe.
Anyone can see I love you. Anyone can see I care. The way I hold your hand and smile in your direction tells the world my heart is filled with nothing but affection. Lock me in your arms forever. That's a place I want to be. So anyone can see that I belong to you and you belong to me. That's a place I want to be. So anyone can see that I belong to you and you belong to me.
Take jobs on the edges of show business.
This is the first car I ever owned. I call her Cynthia. She's going to have the best care a car ever had. Put Royal Triton in Cynthia's little tummy.
Right, lady.
Cynthia will just love that Royal Triton.
When you're acting and the director is with you and not just sitting by as just as the audience.
Yes?
But he's really with you every moment, everything you do. I think it's very important. It has been to me.
Well, now, your success has been or close to it, the dream of every American girl, all right, I guess. After you got what you want, did you want it?
Well, as I say, the thing I like the most is to become a real actress. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was a kid, sitting in the front row at the movies on Saturday afternoon. And I would never come out of the movie. They'd have to come and get me, I'd sit in the front row. And I think how wonderful it would be to be an actress and so forth. But I didn't really realize about acting, except I appreciated what I saw. Bad, good, didn't matter. I enjoyed it very much, everything that I would see, anything that would move on the screen. However, I think I realize more and more the responsibility. And it is a responsibility, and as I say, I would like to be a good actress.
Good night, Marilyn.
Bye-bye. It's a pleasure meeting you.
He had a very difficult time building. He was a wonderful athlete, and he could hit a baseball. Anything thrown his direction, he could hit. So he understood some things about me, and I understood some things about him, and we based our marriage on it. And I say some things. Well, I don't want to say that. I just say we understood some things about each other. He has a very sensitive nature in many respects. You know, one thinks of an athlete as being, I don't know, not having that, but they do. Our marriage wasn't a happy one. It ended in 9 months. Unfortunately, I don't know what else to say.
Miss Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio are presently having differences which they have brought about a separation. Miss Monroe has decided to file an action for divorce in Southern California, and it will be on the usual and ordinary grounds of mental cruelty. There will be no property or financial disputes between these parties. Both of them regret the necessity of the action, but they feel that it is inevitable at this time.
Our marriage wasn't a happy one. It ended in 9 months, unfortunately.
Marilyn, I was asking Milton what you thought of that look cover that he did of you.
I liked it very much, although I like most of Milton's pictures.
Uh-huh. Well, now, your picture has been on the cover of almost all popular magazines, hasn't it?
No, not the Ladies' Home Journal.
That you would like, would you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I used to long for it. I used to appear on, when I was modeling, on men's magazine covers, such as, I don't know, Squint, Peep, Take a Peep, all those things.
But not the Ladies' Home Journal?
No.
Marilyn, tell me, how did you three meet?
Well,
I met in California. I really met Milton first. I was working on a set in Hollywood, and one of the look writers came over to the set one day and asked me if I'd like to look at some pictures in a portfolio, and I said yes, I'd like to. And I saw the most beautiful pictures I'd ever seen. And I said I'd like for this photographer to photograph me. And
He says, well, here he is. And I turned and looked, and I said, but he's just a boy.
And what did you have to say to that, Milton?
Well, he's just a girl.
Comedians.
I loved to play. I didn't like the world around me too much because it was kind of grim. I loved playing with the children in the neighborhood, you know, running out and playing. We could imagine anything and pretend anything. But then, you know, you grow up and you find out they make playing very difficult for you.
Somebody should question you. Somebody should question you.
I think, why don't you...
All right. Look, the way we always work, I'm asking somebody who's questioning it.
Who's going to question you?
We'll all three question.
All right, fine.
This is the way we always work.
Mr. Miller, with a little bit of peace until it happens. So that's about it.
Miller, have you heard yet on your passport?
No, I haven't.
Mr. Miller, about that, the House Committee gave you 10 days, I believe, to give the names of the people you didn't give when you were at the hearing down there. Have you any comment about that at this time?
Well, that's business between the Congress and myself, and I don't think that it is proper for me to make any comment at this time.
But would you answer this, Mr. Miller? At the time you refused to name names, would you tell us why you refused to?
It's all in the record.
Well, I wonder if you'd state it here.
I'm not in a situation now where I would want to go into that. I think it's all quite clearly stated in the record of the Congress, and I'll stand by that.
In the event that you are not able to go, will Miss Monroe still go?
Oh, sure. She's got to go. She's got a contract to go.
Well, that means you may not have a honeymoon together then.
I think we will.
I hope so.
Miss Monroe, a school teacher just got a letter from an 11-year-old boy in which he was to write about 3 wishes, what he would do with 3 wishes. And he said that he would like money first, and second, to be an engineer, and third, he said, when I grow up, I'd like to have a blonde. She has to have blue eyes. She has to be like Marilyn Monroe. This is my life. Now, you were the third choice on that.
I'm flattered.
Miss Monroe, a rival of yours, and Miss Diana Dawes has arrived in the United States. Is your going to England just a coincidence, or is it any kind of an exchange arrangement? So we won't be lonesome while you're gone.
Well, I'm afraid not. We've made arrangements about the Sleeping Prince, well, nearly a year ago. I mean, it's been going on.
Well, have you met Diana Dawes?
No, I've never met her.
Have you ever seen her in films? You ever seen her act?
No, I haven't.
Then you're not in a position to comment on...
Sorry.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Could we just ask...
Anyone can see I love you. Anyone can see I care. The way I hold your hand and smile in your direction tells the world my heart is filled with nothing but affection. Lock me in your arms forever. That's a place I want to be. So anyone can see that I belong to you and you belong to me.
Do you miss being able to go out and not be recognized and go places so that, as it used to be before you became famous, so no one would pay any attention to you except...
I'll tell you. I do in a way. However, I'm terribly grateful for everything that's happened, because I remember when things weren't like this at all. But you do miss sometimes just being able to be completely yourself and someplace and people just know you as another human being.
Lock me in your arms forever. That's a place I want to be. So anyone can see that I belong to you and you belong to me.
Now, if there are any more questions, get in touch with me, please, and I'll answer. I could do it on tape for you and send it to you.